Here we go. Three, two, one. What is happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Here the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day. We are here on this wonderful Thursday evening post Cinco de Mayo. I look horrid right now. I've had a little bit of sleep, a lot of margaritas, way too many. I was tweeting accurate stuff that I'm sure Dustin will bring up, but I was tweeting stuff that I really shouldn't have been touching my phone last night, but I did. But yes, post Cinco de Mayo. Hope everybody had a good one and enjoyed their day. We are going to recap the NFL draft. We are also going to look into the Noles and where they went, give our reactions to that. We're also going to jump into a little news today about Florida State intending on having full capacity for their season opener against Notre Dame. We're going to give our reactions to that and discuss it. And then Veezy's got some basketball tidbits to go over. Los and Nate aren't here. I mean, eventually we're going to have to start doing a tally, gentlemen. I don't know what we're going to have to do.
Well, at least you got your microphone fixed. That's all that matters.
Yeah, this was take two. So if you're back with us, thank you. But this is take two. We were on live for about 3 minutes straight of me talking and nobody was hearing me. So that was a little embarrassing, but what's new?
Well, and let's go back to your tweets, Logan, because we can tell you enjoyed Cinco de Mayo yesterday. You tweeted that Ben Roethlisberger is what was it, top three?
Yep, top three NFL quarterback.
And then someone replied to you on Twitter and said, "Do you mean currently or historically?" And you said, "I'm pretty sure you said both. Argue with me or fight me or something."
I'm not even sure I'm not convinced he's a top 3 quarterback in his division right now, much less in the NFL.
Stop. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Am I wrong?
Lamar Jackson. See, the thing is with the Steelers' offense, Big Ben doesn't have to run, but I do think if he were to run and have a running game situation, Lamar Jackson would be in some trouble. Let's be honest.
I just think Big Ben's in trouble because he has no offensive line right now.
You're too worried about that. Too worried about that. We got some cats. We'll be all right, I think. And plus, Najee Harris. We're gonna get to it, but God Almighty, it couldn't have got any better. I predicted this months and months in advance. I actually really predicted it whenever he was just throwing SEC defenses to the ground. He said, "All right, that's my running back. I'm getting him." And you let go James Conner, you get Najee Harris. Get ready. Another run's on the way, baby. And this time we're not losing in the playoffs.
That's a good pickup.
I like it. But yeah, let me run through the first couple things here. As always, you can listen to podcasts on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. If you're on any of those platforms, hit that subscribe button so then you can be notified whenever we go live. Every Thursday night at 8:30. Definitely appreciate all of y'all listening. Hope everybody's having a good start to y'all's summer. But, gentlemen, let's talk about this NFL draft. I know, Austin, we're going to get to it. He got a Nole back on his roster to join Dalvin Cook. But let's start off right out the bat. Just going off a few things, if you look at the quarterbacks being taken, of course, we know Trevor Lawrence is picked. That's Jesus. He's going to join Urban Meyer over there in Jacksonville. Good luck and enjoy all of that with that organization. But do y'all really fully believe in Trevor Lawrence and that's going to be the saving grace for them? I know they also got Travis Etienne from Clemson, so those two are back together.
He's the most polished quarterback prospect in almost 10 years since Andrew Luck came out. I don't think that's much debate. There's things he can work on. Every quarterback's got stuff to work on out of college, but I think he's absolutely the most polished prospect, and especially considering guys that went right behind him was Zach Wilson, who has a ton to improve upon, and Trey Lance, another guy that has a ton to improve upon. There's no doubt Lawrence. I don't know why it should even be a debate.
Yeah, like you said, as long as Jacksonville can put some quality skill players around him, and obviously they picked up his former teammate Travis Etienne later in the first round. I think he's bound to have success in the NFL. We saw what Trevor Lawrence did in college, and sometimes it felt like he was even getting bored. So this transition to the NFL is going to be a new challenge and something I think he's going to take on and be successful.
Yeah, it seems like he's by far a generational talent, and I'm interested to see how that organization. I do think I know there's some people that were against the Travis Etienne pick, but not like against it that talent wise, but maybe they wanted some different position pick. But I like that they are able to have both of them back together and work with that offense too. So I'm interested to see how Jacksonville progresses because it feels like it's been so long since maybe when Jalen Ramsey was there. Was it 2018 where they were making a run there in the AFC? After that, it's just been a complete shit show for them. So, interested to watch that growing organization and try to get back to it because it feels like they saw what Tampa did and maybe they're going to try to really make a push in these next couple of years to get back on track. And then you also got go ahead.
They've got good receivers. They just signed Marvin Jones from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
They got some talented pieces there, and especially getting ATN in that backfield to pair with James Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a talented backfield. They've got some talent on offense. I think they're one or two offensive linemen away from being really set on offense and probably a tight end too. But I think they're doing everything they can.
Well, they're going to sign Tim
Lawrence.
Tebow.
I mean, let's not go there.
Oh, God, don't get me going, Dustin. I've only had a little bit of sleep. I can't do it tonight.
He's a Hall of Fame caliber tight end.
I just don't understand what he's like. I just already can't stand him.
Yeah, he's buddies with Urban Meyer. They got to do something.
Well, I mean, what is he gonna do? I mean, go get married in a different country. I don't know. I don't know why I even really gave him some slander on that right there, but I just can't stand him overall. He's not gonna play football. He couldn't play baseball. We didn't really give a damn that he was playing baseball. I don't know what else to say. Tim Tebow sucks. He's annoying. His voice is very annoying too. Whenever he's on TV talking, it's one of the most annoying that I've ever heard. I have to mute my screen, mute my TV. But anyways,
this isn't as bad as Nate's take on Tim Tebow.
Well, yeah, we would.
I don't
have
think
to,
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'd have to we would be glad if his microphone was muted then. But yeah. But going back into this NFL draft, you look at Trey Lance was picked up by the 49ers. Before that is Zach Wilson. Y'all think it was a little surprising to see Justin Fields drop so far to y'all? Because I feel that way. I feel like Justin Fields is the real deal, but
I was surprised to not see Denver take him because they seem like they're just one quarterback away from being a really good football team because they got 5 good receivers. They got a solid offensive line. They invested heavily in the secondary and free agency, adding Ronald Darby, Kyle Fuller. I don't know why they took another corner. I don't think it was necessary. I think they'd take Justin Fields and they could maybe make the playoffs this year. Whereas, yeah, I know they traded for Teddy Bridgewater, but I don't think him or Drew Lock's the answer right now. And then to just see him fall to 11 and Chicago trades up and takes him, I was pretty upset about that. Now he's in the same division as my Vikings, and on a weekend where we found out that Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be there anymore, I was pretty excited, and now another team gets a pretty talented quarterback.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see Chicago trade up and take him. Once Fields kind of started to slip, I was really looking for maybe New England to grab him at 15 or maybe even move up a couple slots and grab him, but they ended up with Mac Jones. But I was, pretty surprised to see him slip. The draft rumors have kind of been swirling around, leading up to things that Wilson was going to be the pick for the Jets, and then the 49ers were between Jones and Trey Lance. And I kind of didn't believe it just because I feel like Justin Fields, he has the body of work that you want to see from a top 5 draft pick as an NFL quarterback. So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out now, but I think the Bears got a steal being able to take him at 11.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And congrats to Chicago Bears fans, too. I mean, I'd like to see them.
Like Nate.
Well, now I don't care. No, I don't care. Never mind.
Especially when it came out after when it said that the Vikings were trying to trade up and get him. I was like, you have to rub salt in my wounds, don't you?
That's got to be tough for you, Easy.
Yeah. I was going to be so excited.
You just hate to hear that. That does stink, though.
We got Kellen Mond.
I'm
Just
like,
kill me.
Hey, Jimbo product, baby.
Which one's worked out so far?
Whoa. Hold up now. Hold up.
I said so far. I said so far.
Hold up now. You never know. James Blackman's going to be there in a few. But going back, Kyle Pitts gets picked up, man. He seems like he's just like the next savior of a team. I mean, gets picked up by the Falcons and the fourth pick. Is that? I mean, I don't really keep up with Atlanta that much, but I'm not sold on not Matt Stafford, but Matt Ryan. I've never been really sold on him. I just feel like he's your average tier quarterback, right in that 15 to 18 maybe area. But are they ever going to try to get a quarterback whenever you've got this big of a class here with talent? I mean, by then you would still have had obviously Justin Fields. You would have had Mac Jones too. I'm just shocked. Obviously Kyle Pitts is extremely talented. Let's don't get it wrong, but I don't know. I think eventually you got to move on from Matt Ryan and try to reset the Shockers there in Atlanta.
I mean, the thing with Matt Ryan is the way his contract's set up right now. You wouldn't be able to get rid of him for 2 more seasons without carrying a crazy cap penalty. So I get why they didn't. You want to capitalize on him while you still have him. It doesn't make sense to take a guy that's not going to play for 3 seasons. So I get it, but new front office. You think they'd go in their own direction? Get a guy that they can develop their own future with. It could have gone either way, but they went with, in their mind, the best player available.
Yeah. Let's see. Going down the list here, we got some good stuff. Man, so many Alabama guys. I thought this was a little shocking, but maybe not so crazy. Jalen Waldo before Devontae Smith. It's not like not too big of a shocker, but I personally like Devontae Smith more. But I know Jalen Waddle's a different kind of talent too. But I'd kill to have Devontae Smith in Pittsburgh, but I think Najee will do but just fine. Yeah, going down this, we already talked about it, but Jacksonville has another pick in here, so they grab Travis Etienne. But yeah, going to Steelers though, Najee Harris gets picked up, 24th pick for us. I'm extremely ecstatic. I loved watching him throughout his college career. I mean, just extremely talented, hard to tackle, great vision. I'm excited. I was hoping. Sometimes the Steelers will do that where I'm, tweeting Mike Tomlin like, all right, we're getting blah blah blah, we're getting blah blah blah, and it'll, be the dream of my choice. But they really made it true, and a tear was coming down my face, and it really is going to be the key to us going to probably a couple runs at the Super Bowl.
Cat.
Next.
Who's blocking for him? Marquise Pouncey retired. Alejandro Villanueva left.
Who's blocking
for the Ravens?
Yeah, he's Dookie.
But you didn't replace him at all. You just okay, we'll just go with the backup. If he was Dookie, why not get someone else to replace him? You didn't even get someone to replace him.
Villanueva, he wants to go play for the Ratbirds, and I loved his little thing that he said on social media or whoever he was on an interview saying, he won't be making TikToks in the locker room or whatever, but go enjoy it. He
when the Steelers go 6-11, don't come crying.
6-11. What drug are you on? What are they doing up there in North Carolina? They just get
your first 2 picks were a running back and a tight end, the 2 positions with the least value in the NFL.
The tight end was a little interesting. I wasn't really sure about that one. I would have rather had an offensive lineman, obviously, but you know what? Mike Tomlin knows what he's doing. The office knows what he's doing.
Better hope so.
I don't know if it's, when we get to the playoffs, so I don't know if we know what we're doing. But
if you get to the playoffs.
Well, like I said, now that we have Najee Harris, we're now going to make a run probably next 3 years. We'd probably be AFC Championship twice and 1 Super Bowl run next 3 years. So I love it. I got to thank Mike Tomlin and them for doing that. I appreciate it. So allows me to just continue to be, confident that 6 rings.
It must be nice to be blind. I wonder what that's
like. Speaking of Austin and a devil, the Patriots got Mac Jones, Bill Belichick.
I don't know how that pertains to me.
I don't know. I had to come after you. You call me blind, so now you're the devil. The Patriots get Mac Jones. It just seems like this was just destined overall, just for Bill Belichick. He gets a young guy, big boy that can just sit back there and throw the ball and do a little this and that. We knew that Cam Newton wasn't going to be lasting much longer in New England. I was actually surprised that he got re-signed this offseason to them. But Mac Jones is the future in New England. Anybody
I would
sold
just
on
like
him?
to say, I would just like to say that Mac is Cam backwards, and that's all I've
So you're
got.
just stealing that one dude's tweet. That's what we're doing here.
No, I
Stealing
came up with
tweets?
that.
That
Yeah,
is,
He
that's
stole my thought from my head.
it's cap.
Wait, who stole whose tweet?
I forget who tweeted it, but someone tweeted that out the night of the draft.
Yeah, Destin's smiling. He definitely took it from that.
Yeah.
I came up with it.
Yeah, right.
I still thought it was too early for Mac Jones. Like, I know a lot. There was talk of him going to San Francisco at 3. I just thought he benefited so much from having, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, a great
Oh,
offensive line. Like, a lot of his passes were, screen passes, bubbles, slants, or just giving Devontae Smith the ball and just letting him go.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get he completed 77% of his passes, but he had 2 guys really working for him. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it works in New England with a lot less options. It'll be interesting to see. I personally don't think it's going to work, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I don't know. That, like you just said, and we talked about it last week, the amount of weapons that cat got to use during the season. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier.
And just from his walk alone, I don't trust him.
Oh God, that was awful. He looked like he was going to a Shark Tank
Yeah,
pitch.
he was about to pitch. He was about to pitch a $500,000 idea and walked out with $10.
Even though he did get paid pretty well.
Oh yeah, but,
Yeah.
More than $10.
I
As
mean,
an analogy,
I'd
sure.
crawl if I was going to get that much money that he got.
Yeah.
I'd crawl for $1,000 on a stage.
Would you?
Hell yeah, $1,000. I can put that in Dogecoin. Meanwhile, Dustin's losing money. I loved it whenever we went to Kenny Shaw's camp. On the way, he was crying with tears that he should have put some money in, and he lost out on like $2,000 or something with Doge.
Yeah, it's been good times.
But hey,
Hey, I'm back in.
you're back. You're joining the fun people. But
Going down right now.
it is.
Yeah. Once Meek Mill tweeted he was going in, everyone should just pull it out immediately.
Meek Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, should have just said bye. But yeah, let's jump into the Noles here. Let's get into the fun stuff, the nitty gritty. Asante Samuel Jr. gets selected in the second round by the LA Chargers. It just continues to grow that West Coast Noles slogan that keeps going around. But man, he's going to go join Derwin James and Gabe Neighbors over there in Hollywood. What is y'all's first takes from this? I think it's an excellent pick. I really believe in their DB coach over there. And I think it's a fantastic one. I think, I thought he would go a little bit earlier, but I think the fit for him is about the best you can get. There's a lot of DBs that went ahead of him too.
Chargers killed the first 2 rounds. Got Rashawn Slater in the first, fell in their laps at 13. They really needed a left tackle, and he's a perfect fit. Then they needed a corner to replace Casey Hayward. In falls Asante Samuel Jr., who's very aggressive, very good corner. If he'd been, like I said last week, if he's 2 inches taller, I think he's a top 20 pick. And now he joins Derwin, who hopefully can stay healthy. And I know he's not on the same team, but Jalen Ramsey's staying right across the block.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great fit. I think he's going to do really, really well out there. And also joins another former Nolan, Trey McKitty, who was taken around later.
And it was good value for the Chargers, like you said, Logan, because he went a little bit later than we expected. So I thought the Chargers got him at the right time. And like you said, Austin, he's a good fit. We'll get to go play with Derwin and also Gabe Neighbors up there. So, I'm excited to see how his career begins to unfold. I think he's going to see a lot of early
Ryan
playing
Roberts? Wasn't Ryan Roberts on their practice squad, or am I missing something?
Yeah, he was. I believe.
Another former Noel.
I believe so. I don't know if he still is, but yeah, I do remember that was his first place he was landing in the pros. But yeah, I was going to talk about here. Brandon Stanley said that the Chargers head coach, there's a lot of evidence of Asante playing out there. And I think the one thing that we really just value with this guy is that he can get you the ball. He's got those instincts, that process or that concept trigger that can get you the football. He's a really good body. He's got a really good body. If you take a look at him, this guy, he's a really strong player, and he feels comfortable and complete play DB. This transcript that I have of this quote is awful. Like, I'm not I promise I'm not drunk anymore, and I might be
Well,
like really tired and have had 3 hours of sleep. But this is awful. Whoever wrote this
Yeah.
transcript, this is I'm like, God dang, what is in this? Am I drinking again? Good God. But yeah, he joins Derwin James, like we said. I love it, man. Keep building that DB, and I want to see Derwin James be healthy. I got to see Derwin James be healthy because I feel like we didn't get to see him last season. We got to see him the year before, but just at the little bit of the season, the last little sliver, so it wasn't his full go, capability we didn't get to see. So we haven't seen him, fully full go for 2 years. I'm ready to see Asante Samuel Jr. join on the other side and be Derwin James in safety, and I can't wait. It's fun watching, and like you said, Austin, Jalen Ramsey being nearby too. That's a good guy to be around right now and learn from, and network with and be friends with. So good for Asante. And I think the LA Chargers have a bright future ahead. I do believe. They've got some weapons on offense. They've got a bright young quarterback with Herbert. I think that's a team that's got to watch out for the next couple years.
the only thing is they share the same division as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's a tough thing that sucks about it. That's what hurts them the most. And what's their head coach name? He just makes the stupid decisions.
Staley?
Oh, not Stanley. No, never
Enough
mind.
to be able to close the
So he's
distance between
gone.
themselves and
You're
their
talking about
opponents.
Anthony Lynn?
This all
Yep.
sounds awesome, but
Yeah, Anthony Lynn. Yeah, I couldn't stand him with some of the decisions he'd make in late games and screw everything up and let teams come back and beat him. Happened all
He
the
was
time.
fun on Hard Knocks, though.
Yeah, he's a good guy in Hard Knocks. He's a good guy. All right. So after Asante Samuel Jr., this is an interesting one, and this was a surprise to I think all of us in the group chat when we were talking about it. But man, how about this one? Janarius Robinson, Florida State defensive end, gets selected by the Minnesota Vikings. Austin's Vikings. Dustin, give it Skull.
Go.
I plead the fifth. Not saying anything. Just
But
gonna sit here.
what?
I will say this: if there was a place that, if there was a place Janarius Robinson could go and he'd be successful, it's Minnesota. Cause Andre Patterson's one of the best D-line coaches in the NFL. We've seen what he's done with these kind of players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look back with Danielle Hunter, 3rd-round pick, really raw, but he was long and athletic. Has killed it. Everson Griffin, coming out of college, really raw and athletic, killed it in the NFL. Brian Robinson, killed it. Andre Patterson just knows how to develop these guys. I think if Robinson landed in a very good spot, he's not going to be asked to play right away. He's going to get a chance to develop and hopefully turns into a good player.
I mean, with that size, I think a lot of people on Twitter were like, with that size, any coach is going to say, I can work with this. I can coach this. I can develop it and get a good product out of it. And that kind of athleticism, his size that he has on him, his strength, I mean, it's hard not to, take that little risk and try to get a guy that, you can develop for a year or two. And I'm happy for J-Rob. The things that went through his career at FSU and with his family losing his house, and now he really gets to provide for his family. I think it's awesome seeing these and seeing the behind the scenes videos of them and mom crying, and I've been able to experience a few times or meet with him a few times too, and he's always been a class act with everybody that I've been around with him, and so really I'm happy for him though.
I mean, he's almost the exact same build as Danielle Hunter when Danielle Hunter came in the NFL. Hunter's 6'5", 255. Robinson's 6'5", 266. So they're very similar builds. Obviously, Hunter was all muscle, but very, very similar builds. And like I said, if anyone can get out of him, Andre Patterson can.
Dustin, were you just going to do the chant? That was it? That was your take?
I mean, you kind of said it all. Like, to me, the thing that, like, his body and his athleticism, he has those things you can't teach, but you're going to have to work on his football IQ and his technique and making sure he's in the right spots. But those are all things that you can fix. So, Austin kind of said it. Why not take a guy that you can potentially mold into a good football player? He's got all the skills. He's got the talent. You've just got to have the right coaching staff to put it together, and we'll see if that's in Minnesota.
You can't teach, or you can teach technique, you can teach get off. You can't teach 6'5" with 4.7 speed.
Mm-hmm. If I'm correct, they also drafted another defensive end, Patrick
We
Jones.
Yeah, Patrick Jones from Pitt the round before, who's another very similar player, long and athletic.
So he'll be competing for playing time right off the bat, which is good.
A ton, because we re-signed Stephen Weatherly,
Mm-hmm.
drafted DJ Wanham last year from South Carolina, who's another very athletic, very powerful guy. We've been trying to find someone next to Danielle Hunter, and especially when Danielle Hunter was out all of last season with a neck injury, pass rush was really, really bad. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Robinson get a lot of playing time right away, but he's gonna have a chance to compete for sure.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I look horrible. I just looked at myself.
So is he a lock to make the team?
Probably.
Just
because not only do we need consistent play, we just need depth. Just need depth in general at DN, and especially some of these DNs can kick inside on pass rushing downs. I think he's probably gonna make the roster unless he just sucks in camp.
Mm-hmm. Austin, you get everybody's jersey. You know, you showboat it too, and it's all over Twitter and in our group DMs and everything. But you got to get a J-Rob jersey. Does he have a number yet?
I think it's 95, 96. Hold on, I'll find it.
What is y'all's take? I keep on saying takes. What is y'all's thoughts on the numbers changing and all that? Like where you could see Jalen move from 20 to 8 or something like that.
I think it sucks that they have to they would have to buy out all their current stock. That's dumb.
To buy out their stock?
Yeah. Like all their jerseys from the NFL shop, they would have to buy out all the inventory.
That is so ridiculous.
That's why Dalvin didn't switch. Okay, so yeah, Janaris is wearing 95.
95.
Yeah, Dalvin had to pay like 1.5 million or something if you wanted to switch.
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was for real. That is so silly. Like you could still sell those and be like, "Hey, this is his first number that he wore in the NFL."
Yeah, if I was smart, like if I'm forced to buy out all my inventory, I buy it all out, sign all of it, and then sell it for twice the price. Might as well make money while you're doing it.
You need to hit up Dalvin Cook's crew. Hit him up.
Let him know.
Let him know the master plan that VZ's got in store for you. 1.5 million. What do we? So he would go to 4, probably. I would think.
Yeah, he was thinking about switching to 4.
Yeah,
but he's already said he's sticking with 33.
Jalen's got all the money in the world to do whatever the hell he wants, so he could.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't care about it. Yeah, he'll change if he wants to.
And Dalvin Cook does too, but he's being smart with his money. I don't blame him. But I will say I do like Dalvin in that 33 though. I don't know why, but it looks good on him.
I think it's a horrible running back number. Unless you're a power back, like Greg Jones looked great in 33. Dalvin Cook, he should have gone with 24 coming out the gate.
It's just everybody wears that number. Everybody I feel like too many running backs wear that. I want something different. Give me a little 33. It looks good. The numbers are like chiseled. I don't know.
I'm not complaining because he makes it look good because he's the best running back in the NFL.
Thank you. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, he is.
You know, he could have gone with something
better than
like
Najee Harris.
21, 24.
Najee Harris is not far behind Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, he's pretty far behind. Pretty far behind.
See, this is hard for me. I can't say much because I also tweet about Dalvin Cook at least once a week, trying to rile up Miami fans. I think Jalen. I still need to get. Still need to get Vince Williams' number or jersey.
You should have gotten Carlos's jersey.
I know Carlos texted me and texted the group chat, and I was like,
he put in the group chat. You thought it was Vince's.
Yeah,
like, you goofy. Even I know what it is.
Dang, I know that felt bad. And that was, I think because I was drinking the night before.
Bro, I thought he was joking. You were being serious.
You can tell when Logan's being serious in the group chat. He's got a very serious tone that it's hard to make up.
Yeah, he sent in a picture of his jersey that he was wearing whenever he was with the Steelers, and it was number 30, and it said Williams on it. And I was like, didn't James Conner, like, what are you talking about? Oh, God. Yeah, oopsie. Sorry, Los.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, hey, he's not here to be able to roast me on it.
He rewatches the episodes.
He better. Los, if you're hearing this, I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible
And
friend.
if you are listening and you still have the jersey, I'll take it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You got to pay up. I know the money's hitting different up there in Charlotte, but
You missed your opportunity.
damn it.
I got a nice little jersey wall right here. I can add another
I was about
one.
to say, yeah, you're getting J-Robs anyways, so. Do you even have a Dalvin Cook one?
I don't have a signed one.
Well, we don't have to be signed, but you got it.
Yeah, I've got two Dalvin Cook jerseys.
Okay, making sure. Just making sure.
And a Florida State Dalvin Cook T-shirt. So
I'll say the powder blue Chargers ones.
looks so nice.
Do we have Asante Samuel's number yet?
26, right?
Is he keeping it?
I think so.
No way. That would be dirty. I'm looking at him on the roster. I don't know if they have a number yet for him. Maybe we can do some research on that. Let's move on, though, if someone wants to do some research.
Yeah, I'll look.
Joshua Kando picked also in the 4th round, 2 Florida State defensive ends. These two cats worked out together. I don't think they trained together, but, these two were really close in their last final season at FSU. The big goal is them to get into the league. But Kando going to the Kansas City Chiefs, who selected number 144 in the 4th round. And, I think we made a lot of, we tried to make predictions on this draft, and a lot of us were lopsided. I mean, all of us were. I think we agreed on most of these. But, seeing that J-Rob gets selected 2nd, you got Kando 3rd, I was at the beach, and I'm like, what's going on? Is Hamsa, what happened to Hamsa? Is he coming back to FSU? Does he have, an 18th year? What's going on? Is Marvin Wilson? What did he do? What's going on with Tamarion Terry? But, yeah, Joshua Kando going to the Chiefs. I like it. I like the pick for him, too.
Oh, so yes, real quick, Asante is taken in 26.
Nice. Yeah, powder blue and Asante. Might have to see what's popping. Might need to see what's going on.
But yeah, Kando was a surprise.
Yeah.
He's another guy he's got the traits. He's just got to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy that joins a former Nole with Derek Nottie out there on
That's
the
right.
defensive line. Joining, a championship culture, I think will be very healthy for him. I think he's in a good spot. And they took a similar player to him a couple years ago, and I'm going to kill his name, Topa Sepagna. I don't know. Everyone knows who I'm talking about, but they're very similar players.
Yeah. What do you think, Dustin, of what's the status right now for the Chiefs on that defensive line? Can you give us a rundown on what you think the future of that defensive line is?
I just know that now that they have Joshua Kando, they're definitely going back to the Super Bowl.
That was the difference maker.
Double-digit sacks as a rookie, probably rookie of the year. Just
Damn.
get ready.
Wow, Najee Harris
But
is still in the league.
Seriously though, Kando, former 5-star guy, a lot of talent, and then it just seemed, at FSU he continued to get injured, and that continued into this past year where we saw him take that chop block against Georgia Tech, and that kind of set things off for this final season for him at Florida State. And you said it, Austin. As long as he can stay healthy and keep himself on the football field, I still think there's a lot of room for him to grow. And joining an organization like Kansas City with where they're at in the NFL right now, that can only help him after his time at Florida State where he didn't win a lot. So I think going into you said it, a winning culture with Kansas City and only help him get push his game as far as he can.
And I think it's important to note for both Kando and Robinson that they just went through so much over their careers in Tallahassee, not just on the field but off the field.
Yeah,
going to places where there's consistency and
stability.
Stability, great coaches. Obviously two different types of coaches, but two very good coaches and respected in their fields. I think it's gonna be super beneficial for both of them.
Hey, and how about Adam Fuller, baby? All these defensive players getting picked up in the NFL, man. Wow.
Right.
You got to give your hat tip off to Adam Fuller, right? For what he's
Put
done.
it on the resume.
Luckily, I'm not even wearing a hat right now.
Don't got nothing to tip off. Shout out to Adam Fuller. Really, really putting together some guys into the NFL. But seriously, though, for Odell Higgins, you see J-Rob, and you've also got Kando going. That's another 2. Add that to the list, man. Like Austin was saying,
Yep.
he joins Naughty, and
Love adding, love moving or making 5 stars into 4th rounders. I love it.
dang. Was
All
that
right.
dang. Well, you also can't talk crap about Odell Higgins because you call him Odell Haggins. So that's
Well,
it.
when
That's it
he
for
gets
you.
a 5-star drafted in the 1st round instead of the 4th round or undrafted free agent, maybe I'll learn how to pronounce it.
Wow.
But after this weekend, it stays Haggins.
Dustin taking shots at Odell Haggins. See, look, he's
Look.
screwing me.
I'm about to start calling Dustin Dustin.
Dustin Lewis.
Hey, it's not my fault. Go look how many Bass Pro Fishing people Odell's been following lately. Can't help it. All right.
So what? He's a fisherman.
He likes to fish, Dustin.
He needs to follow some recruits.
Oh, come on, Dustin.
He needs to do some work.
Golly, Dustin after Odell tonight.
He's in a mood, and it's not a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah, he tried to tell us he had COVID to try to get on the podcast. First of all, that is really messed
Nate
up.
said he's got drama going on. Didn't get on the podcast.
Don't take it to Nate. We need to go
Yeah,
back
but
to your
Nate,
statement.
we at
making
least
Lewis
fun
went
of
on a
COVID.
road
You
trip instead of getting on the
Are
podcast.
you making?
Oh, here we go.
You making fun of? What happened? Are you making
Said
fun
Lois went on a road trip and then came back and is it on the podcast?
to Pittsburgh? God dang! If he drove.
Well, at
that
least
far.
I'm here.
I know it. I'm just making sure. COVID-19 is the real deal. You can't make fun of that. You can't use that as an excuse. I mean,
Make sure you get vaccinated.
yep. Before this turns sideways.
I haven't seen it pop up on your social media yet, so I'm just wondering if you made your way to
I know. Yeah, it's like the voting
Walgreens
thing.
in your neighborhood.
You haven't really voted until it's hit social media.
You're the type of guy that would get vaccinated at Publix.
If I'm getting a pub sub, hell yeah, I'll do it.
I was just about to say the same thing.
If it works to where I'm getting it had to be a free pub sub though, to be honest. And I will go, Dustin, if they do a free pub sub for a vaccination. Yeah.
Well, I know up here. I don't know if it's the same down there, but they'll give you like a $10 gift card when you get your flu shot.
So I guess
So
that.
I'll
yeah.
just immediately take it over and get a pub sub.
We need to get you to New Jersey, Logan, because they're doing like shot for a beer.
No,
You get free beer if you get a shot.
like the whole state is doing that.
Like participating breweries. I don't know.
Ah, okay.
But so
See now, I can just reach back here and grab one, and I don't know, D-Lou. I don't know, Dustin. All right, let's get on with this.
trust the science.
This is the interesting one here to me. You got Hamza Nasruddin picked up after Kando and Janarius Robinson. He gets picked up by the New York Jets in the 6th round, if I'm correct. Yep, in the 6th round, the 186th pick. I think this is a steal. I said it whenever we were recording last week. Hamza Nasruddin, out of all of these guys except for Asante, we already know what he brings to the table. Hamza Nasruddin is the steal, and the next person was going to be Terry. So Hamza Nasruddin, he joins. Look at this. This is pretty interesting. Derek Nottie, and you got the Kando tandem. You've got Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr. tandem back there, and the DBs. And then also you've got Hamza joining LaMarcus Joyner.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, joining LaMarcus Joyner. That's another great. I mean, it's cool to see this because I think Hamza is going to do excellent in the NFL. That injury really hurt him, and I think he's. I'm shocked that he went down this far, but last year, or if he was fully healthy the year before, I think he would have been a 3rd round late at the latest. He drops down to 6. It's an absolute steal, and he gets to be there with LaMarcus Joyner and have some mentorship, which is a guy that Joyner loves football. He doesn't even have social media. He's like a dialed-in guy, and he's also been very successful and has gotten paid, so he gets to sit there and join an NFL veteran that happens to be a 2013 national champion too.
And the interesting thing was they announced him right away as a linebacker, which I think is a great fit for Nasruddin because we talk about these overhang safeties, but they're basically third linebackers where they play in the box, but they still have the movement to cover tight ends, cover running backs. I think that's perfect for Nasruddin. And like you said, gets measured by LaMarcus Joyner, who's one of the best to come from Florida State in the past few years. I think it's a perfect situation for him, and he can play that, Isaiah Simmons type role that the Cardinals drafted in the top 10 last year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he was a guy who was extremely productive at Florida State over his career. Led the team in tackles in 2000 or 2018 and 2019, and then before that injury that kind of had him out this past season. But I'm excited. You know, you mentioned his move to linebacker, and I mean that's kind of what he did at Florida State. He moved all around the defense, participated in multiple positions, and was a really useful asset on that defense for the Seminoles. So, I'm hoping he can continue to stay healthy and with that move into the NFL, have some success as well. So
The thing
excited
with
for him.
Yeah, the thing with him is that he can move east to west in a second, and he's a tackling machine. And we talked about this, months ago. I think I remember talking with Nate at least. It just depends on which team was going to take him and utilize him, and there's only a select few defenses that will do that. But with Hampton going to the Jets, I was already thinking, could it be like where they had Jamal Adams there? How he was able to be put in select spots and is a versatile kind of guy and can make tackles and make plays and blitz.
I mean, it's a different defense now because now it's Robert Saleh who comes over from the 49ers.
Yeah,
So he's going to be playing that Jimmy Ward type role, which I still think fits him really well.
yeah. He's just a guy that I think has natural football smarts, has a great body. I'm in 6'4", 220. I think he's just more football smart than anything, though. And he's an excellent tackler. I think he's one of the best tacklers that Florida State has had in the last couple of years. So, except for Dontavius Jackson.
Good pick.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact. Everybody loves a fun fact. National Dean is the 8th Florida State player to be drafted by the Jets all time. Cool fact of the day there, if anybody was wondering it.
Can Dustin name 2 of the other 7?
Yeah, can you name any? And it can't be, well, it wouldn't be Jordan.
I mean, there's a couple easy ones.
I mean, Leon Washington, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to think of another one.
Ooh,
Oh wow, there's one really big name.
there's a big one.
Recent?
No.
Or wait, wasn't it Marvin Jones?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Shade Tree. Yep. Sure was.
And then that's honestly all.
I guess those are just the 2 I was trying to get you to get. So congratulations.
I guess Will Tye doesn't count. No, he went to the Giants. Get me out of here. Move on. Get me out.
Before
of
you
this
embarrass
segment.
yourself. All right, so let's move on to here. The undrafted free agents. This is where the fun begins, D-Lou. You were throwing some shade earlier at Odell Higgins. Marvin Wilson and Tamarion Terry not selected in this NFL draft. What a change of events. What a year can do. Isn't it crazy what a year can do? Let's start off with Marvin Wilson, too. He gets picked up by the Cleveland Browns. He gets paid to, I think I have the numbers here in a second. But first takes on these two, or at least Marvin Wilson, going undrafted in the NFL draft. You would have never thought this would happen a year ago.
I would not have been surprised if by the time they hit like the late 5th round, his agent started telling teams, just don't even draft him at this point. Just let him sign where he wants to sign. Because he got more money than any of the 6th or 7th round picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they just said, just don't even draft him at this point. And now he has his own narrative. You already saw he's going to Cleveland like LeBron. He's got his own narrative, and maybe it motivates him to have a good career.
We'll have to see. I agree though with what you said, Austin. I think that they probably said for teams not to select him. That was something I put in the Discord whenever we're starting to get into the later rounds. I was like, well, honestly, he's probably saying he wants to pick his own destination and then also be able to choose a higher guaranteed salary for whoever was interested in him. But hopefully, going from a potential first round guy maybe at the beginning of the season or last year to falling out of the draft completely, hopefully that can just get Marvin Wilson back on the right path and back into the right football mentality, and he can learn from this and then have a success story, kind of like you said. But it's definitely shocking to see him go undrafted after everything. But it's not necessarily a surprise. his production kind of fell off in 2020.
More
He
than kind of.
continued.
He was
I'm
bad.
trying to,
He was
trying to
bad.
be generous.
He was bad. Like, there's no reason to be generous with it. He was bad in 2020.
He battled
And
injuries.
you couple his bad play with, the stuff in the offseason where, he's calling out the coaches, and you follow that up with a bad season. A lot of NFL teams are go, well, we don't want that.
Yeah, he regretted it too in the interview, calling out Norvell, and I I thought that wasn't the greatest move because it already started separation in the locker room.
You guys think Mike Norvell gave him a glowing recommendation to NFL scouts?
Who knows?
I'm sure he.
I don't think he badmouthed the kid.
Nah, I don't think.
I'm sure he said he showed up to every practice, every film. He's still on the sidelines for every game. I'm sure he was saying stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't see Norvell badmouthing a kid his first year on the job.
No,
There's just
no,
way.
no. I don't think that's happening. But I think he just did it. Wilson just did it for himself. I mean, he did it. He just did it on his own. I mean, wouldn't even need Norvell saying anything. It was public what he was doing, and I think it was the not the trend, but it seemed like that was this time last year. That was kind of like what everybody was doing, and it didn't seem like it was appropriate for that situation, in my opinion. I think it was kind of overblown, and I think that's what a lot of his teammates were agreeing with. And, the next morning they were there at 6 a.m. at workouts, and 75-80% of them were there, and there was a few that selected not be there. And some of them were like, what? Why are we getting angry about this? Why are we going on social media? It was just a complete shit show. And, the NFL scouts saw that, and they do their research. They do it all throughout the year. It's not just whenever they get prepped for the NFL draft. They're doing their research. They're taking notes all throughout what's going on with the player. Definitely of Marvin Wilson's, him as a player and being, a potential, top 100 draft pick. They're going to do the research on him. So.
I mean, that contributed, obviously, his poor play during the season. And then even after the season was over and he went over to the Senior Bowl, I don't think he was fully healthy again at that point, but he didn't have a very good showing there either.
And a lot of teams take a lot out of the Senior Bowl. I mean, we saw Kellen Mond win in the third round because he won Senior Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's because they didn't have a lot to work with this last year too. You don't have the NFL Combine to look at, and then you got the Senior Bowl that was utilized a lot by scouts. So I think that's a good take there from VZ too. So, and then you look at J-Rob too, and he had a pretty good senior day too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he actually showed off some pass rushing moves.
Yeah, like he was rolling. So
that was where his hype started to build.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, man, it goes to show. It goes to show. Stay in shape, get straight into training right after the season's over, and get ready for that Senior Bowl. If anybody's listening to us right now that's heading into their senior year in college that for some reason are listening to us, there's your tip of the day from here this year.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do appreciate it if you are listening. And if you are, hit that like button too, right?
And hit us up after you graduate so we can get you on the pod.
Yeah. And we'll even help you get your name out there even more. That's what we do here at Hear the Spear. Try to help a brother out. Let's see. And then next one over here, Tamarion Terry goes undrafted. Which one shocks you more? Is it Marvin Wilson or Tamarion Terry? Which one?
I mean, for sure Marvin. Just because, a year ago he was getting legitimate first-round hype. It was surprising to see Terry not taken just because you don't see 6'4" with 4.3 speed every day. But I wasn't too terribly surprised. But then he signs with Seattle, who, they need receivers.
Yeah.
I thought it was solid.
I'd say I'm more shocked by Terry. Not that he would have been like even before Hamza. I mean, just because, and if I had to do my mock, it'd be Asante, you'd have Hamza, then you'd have Terry and J-Rob, and then Marvin Kando. But yeah, what's your wonderful take, Dustin?
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's the same thing, with Marvin Wilson as with Tamorian Terry. He didn't produce in 2020. He clashed with the coaching staff. He dealt with injuries, and then he also, elected to opt out and leave the team and go train for the draft. Whereas Marvin stayed with the team. Um, so yeah, you know, we'll see if he can get back into the flow of things now that he's in the NFL. And it's the same thing with Marvin. Hopefully going undrafted, falling this far, it makes him rethink things, refocus, and get his attitude in check, and then go produce. Because I mean, the kid, he's a really talented football player, but for him, I think it's just the maturity and just having the right mentality. So we'll see if that's something he's able to develop. And Seattle, I mean, winning culture, good coach with Pete Carroll, obviously having Russell Wilson, some good character in that locker room. I think that can only help him.
I think he has a high potential too. I loved it. Wait, I actually talked about this. I remember last week I was like, man, a team.
Pretty sure you did, yeah.
Yeah, I was mentioning that I would love to see him. I didn't think it would happen, but I'd love to see Tamara Terry be with the Seahawks because you got Russell Wilson there, like you said, D-Lou, and deep ball threat. That's a guy deep. That's a huge threat. And Austin was also noting his speed too, and I think he's even faster with pads on. He's just got that football like athleticism, and he's able to just book it. He really the last couple of years, I think last year, but the year before, whenever he was fully healthy, he really kind of shocked some people at how fast he actually is and the speed he's got in him. But he joins DK Metcalf in the wide receiver room along with Tyler Lockett, who's both these guys are deep ball threats. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Imagine all three of those guys on the same field together.
Yeah,
that should be fun.
Yeah, Metcalf, Lockett, and Tamarion Terry. You got Florida Gator Freddie Swain there, and then a few others. But I do think that Tamarion Terry, if he is dialed in, locked in, and does his thing, this should be an easy land for him where he sticks there with Seattle and Pete Carroll. So I'm really excited to watch this because I love watching the Seahawks too, and Russell Wilson is a different kind of animal. Really, just in the first half of seasons, and the rest of it, he just doesn't give a damn. But no knock on him, right? No knock. He's a nice guy. Russell Wilson's a nice guy.
I still hate him for NC State.
Yeah, that is true. Although we kind of did that to ourselves there on the goal line.
I still blame him.
He did it.
Not a fan.
It's his fault.
He's also the reason Blair Walsh missed a kick left.
Mm-hmm.
Or right. I don't even remember which direction it was at this point.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he do? Like, was he like blowing wind or?
He did something. I'm blaming it on Russell Wilson. I can't stand him.
He's a little too nice for me. I mean, not that it really affects. I mean, not like he gives a damn what the hell I'm doing. Look at me. I look like I just got out of a friggin' sewer. But he's just too nice. Too nice. I need someone to be mean. Just like Big Ben. Not a nice guy.
We can tell by his rap sheet.
Is what? Dustin, you need to get your facts straight. You need to get your facts straight. I don't think they couldn't even heard that anyways because your mic.
Oh, I heard it.
I know. I could hear. I know from my end, but I doubt they're gonna really understand what you just said. So works out perfectly for me.
They could fill in the blanks.
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they potentially could. But yeah, any last thoughts on NFL draft? Any other exciting things happen during it? I'm trying to think. Any like funny things? Obviously, Mac Jones, him walking like a dweeb. I mean, that's terrible.
Two long snappers and a kicker got drafted, but Marvin Wilson and Tamorion Terry didn't.
Yeah, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted a punter from Georgia Tech. He's got some swag, too. He's a big boy.
From Georgia Tech.
That boy can play linebacker, too. He's a big boy.
I mean, I thought the Vikings killed the first round. I mean, you at 14, trade back to 23, get 2 third-round picks, and still get Christian Darrisaw to be your left tackle for the next 10 to 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was great.
Yeah. So you feel good about your picks?
I mean, besides Kellen Mond and Chaz Surratt, I was like, eh. But other than that, you got two new offensive linemen, which we desperately needed. Wish we would have taken an edge rusher earlier, but for the most part, I was pretty satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Dustin, you're a Saints guy now. I'm looking at their draft.
I don't even know who the Saints drafted, man.
They drafted that
Peyton Turner,
that guy from Houston.
defensive end. I'm seeing if they got anybody to help see what Jameis Winston's going to be working with. They got two defensive guys, and then off another got a corner from Stanford.
Oh yeah, Paulson Adebo, right?
Yep.
He's a good player.
Mm-hmm. And then Ian Book got drafted actually in the 4th round, too.
Horrible pick.
I don't understand that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Then they finally drafted an offensive tackle with Landon Young from Kentucky.
Sounds like Tampa Bay to me.
Yeah.
Don't give Jameis any help, and then
should we
leave
talk
him
about
to
Josh?
rely on himself.
Should we talk about Josh Ball getting drafted or no? Should we leave that alone?
I think it's done it bad.
How about the Dallas Cowboys' entire draft? Because they drafted Micah Parsons first, and there's been some interesting stuff alleged about him.
And not as interesting as Josh Ball, which we'll leave it at that.
No, I don't know if you've read up on the Micah Parsons stuff.
I have.
It's pretty bad.
I have.
Jameis got a 7th rounder wide receiver with Kawan Baker from South Alabama.
It's the first time I've heard his name.
Yeah, it's a cool name though. It has 2 A's. Actually, it has 3 A's. Kawaan.
Wow.
That's all I can really say about.
I know you're running out of stuff to talk about.
Well,
Spelling out people's names.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Winston to Baker touchdown. Let's move on here. I think that's all it is from the NFL draft. I hate that we took a week. We should have kind of did a more instant reaction, or maybe done it earlier in the week. But if you're still listening to us, we definitely appreciate it, and you actually care about our takes. We do appreciate it a lot. Let's move into some basketball. Actually, no, we got one last thing. Let's talk about this full capacity situation here. D-Lou's freaking out. He's a big masker. He loves the mask. I'm not against masks, but I'm like, I'm at the gym. I'm, gonna be safe, but I'd like to actually breathe. But Dustin said he's not going to go because there's just going to be too many people there. And even though he did go to a bar with us that was extremely packed after the spring game, but we won't talk about it, anymore. But let's talk about this. Florida State is intending on having full capacity for the Notre Dame game in the fall to start off the season. It's quoted here that they anticipate returning to full in-person participation in athletic and social activities on our campuses, including fan participation in stadium and arenas. So also the tuck too, everybody. Instant reaction to that. It actually came out today, that little nugget.
I think the spring game was kind of like a test for it because there weren't any restrictions in place, at least as far as we could tell, as far as COVID protocols from the game. And as far as we know, there hasn't been any falling out from it. So I'm not totally surprised, especially with how open Florida's been the last couple of months. Hopefully it stays in place. Obviously, they're saying right now that's the plan, but hopefully it stays in place because, I'd love to see an electric Doak Campbell Stadium in September for Notre Dame, and especially for the Tucker Center next season because it'll be a very good team in the Tucker Center this upcoming season.
I just like having less fans there because you get more leg room.
You don't even go to the games.
Yeah, I do.
Basketball.
Even
if oh, okay, that's true.
And leg room either way. What do you put your legs over people or something?
Put them over the chair.
No,
You've been to a game with me before.
As a fellow tall guy, I feel Dustin's pain. I know you don't get this, Logan, but
What are you talking about? I'm taller than Dustin.
You are 5'9".
I am not 5'9". You're on drugs. I'm 6'2".
I don't think you're taller than me.
I am.
I think
taller.
I got you by a smidge.
No, you got me by a smidge. You're on drugs because one terrible picture where I don't even know how to count to 10. I really didn't. Probably kind of.
What do you think about all the talk from Nate about your legs? In text messages.
I'm glad
on social media.
I'm glad he's going through some kind of drama right now, but he's probably listening to this too because he's been retweeting these tweets. But I think it's disgusting. An older man looking at my legs is something that I never thought would happen to me. But he really is invested into my legs. Like, he's tweeted about it twice this week. It's nasty. He wanted to put out a poll on my legs that somehow y'all voted about 98%.
You did put the poll out.
Yeah. No.
Wait, what was the results of the poll?
It was terrible. I don't
That he
even
has
wanna look.
that he has very unmanly legs. That was
Yeah,
the
that I have
result.
unmanly legs. I have Karen legs. I don't know how that makes sense, but
What was the percentage?
uh,
Does Logan have the legs of a 50-year-old Karen? 92.4%. Yes.
with like what, close to 100 votes?
Yeah. Respect.
Oh, lordy day. But yeah,
I voted yes.
Thank you.
I did as
don't
well.
know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure y'all did. I'm sure. I don't know how he went from full capacity at the Notre Dame game and it turned to my legs, but I do appreciate it, Houston, and I do think that I will be ecstatic to be in a full Doak. I know these guys don't usually go to the games, but I like being there, hearing the war chant, enjoying it. It just felt really weird last season. But, still the crowd I thought showed up this last season for, the circumstances that were in place. But, there's just nothing. And for recruiting, too, you get a full packed crowd like that for Notre Dame. So many recruits in town, too, and a pivotal time for Norvell and what they're trying to do and, sell this team to these recruits. A full packed against Notre Dame, that already brings in national television opportunities. Man, I mean, there's just nothing like it. So I will be ecstatic for it if that does intend on happening. I can't wait, Dustin. I can't wait.
I mean, I'll probably be there.
Oh, you will be. Oh, all that talk.
Better find someone to tweet the game.
Oh wow.
I think Austin's got it.
Ha. Aha. You're funny.
All right, you're doing recruiting then.
Told you 4 months in advance, so
Oh,
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Somehow I already have plans. I don't know if you guys knew.
What do
I won't be able. I won't be able to be on my phone that day.
you getting married?
I mean, no.
Hope it's
Always
nothing
getting
bad.
$36 in commission.
Oh,
36
it's-
bucks.
It's a lot more than 36.
Whoa. How much? Yeah, when you're selling those shoes, VZ, he was telling me that the commission's not that great. That's what D-Lou was telling me.
But it adds
messed
up
up.
very
2%.
fast.
How
It's
much?
what?
2%.
But it adds up fast. It adds up really, really fast.
VZ's, I think, selling some other things.
I'm
that we
not.
might not know
No.
of.
Let's not. Let's not do this.
Dustin's like, hey, you might need to hit you up later. Let's jump into some basketball, VZ. You're not selling anything, but let's sell off some basketball updates. How about that, VZ?
Yeah. So, Afton Reed's mom tweeted out right before we started the podcast that he'll be announcing his college commitment, which I think is keywords, tomorrow at noon, or if you're listening to this today at noon. By the time you're listening, he's probably already announced.
Uh-oh.
It's who knows? No one knows anything with this recruitment. I've said it multiple times. Anyone that says they know is lying. It's a very quiet recruitment. There's been a little bit of G League talk recently, but I think his mom's saying college commitment in her tweet, and she's been very careful with what she says. I think that's keywords. At one point, it was looking like Ohio State, Pitt, LSU, and Florida State as a Final Four. I don't think Ohio State's in it anymore, given that they got Joey Brunk from Indiana to fill their big man spot. It's got to be Pitt, FSU, or LSU. He could choose any one of the three, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. As of now, Florida State has the only future cast still, as we sit here at 9:45 at night. We'll see. No one knows. Sadly, I start working tomorrow at noon, so I won't be able to watch it. But hopefully, we get some good news tomorrow.
Selling
Give us
stuff.
a prediction right now.
Yeah, what's
don't
your
have
raw
one.
prediction?
I don't have one,
We
honestly.
need something. You got to excite the
It's a prediction. You don't.
I don't have a prediction. I
Excite-
legitimately don't.
excite the
What's your
viewers.
gut say?
I don't have a gut feeling.
You don't have a
You
gut?
have like a magic 8-ball that you can shake up?
My magic 8 ball just says cloudy.
Bullshit.
It's not like
messed up.
any. This is how all over the place this is. 24/7 has his two like warm interest schools as Florida State and NC State, which as far as I know, NC State hasn't been involved for months. And then Rivals, who's I think is a little bit better with basketball, they don't have any high interest, but they have 19 medium interests, which include Drake, Canisius, Howard, Liberty, Old Dominion, and VCU.
Mm.
So his recruitment's all over the place. No one knows.
I'm feeling the Noles, baby. I'm gonna give my prediction there. No one's gonna give it.
I'm gonna say FSU or LSU. I think Pitt's out.
Are we able to follow the follows? Have you done any follow the follows, Dustin, for the basketball?
It doesn't work like that because that's more of Instagram.
I've done a little bit of following the follows, but it's more his mom because apparently I get the feeling his mom's running the recruitment. She follows Louisville, Duke, Michigan, Pitt, Virginia, and a few other schools, but doesn't follow FSU. But she does follow Jamie Shaw, who's the Rivals insider that put in the future cast for Florida State. So, we'll see.
Interesting. Got on the trail there, VZ.
We'll see.
Well,
I like those tea leaves.
Yeah. We'll have full coverage. You can follow VZ on Twitter. It's always in the description below. And then
be at work.
Well, I'm just saying too that we'll also tweet on our page too at the No Game Day. But I was just trying to show Austin some love, D-Lou. Jeez, unbelievable.
Have you finally updated my Twitter on the podcast? 'Cause for a while you still had it as my old one. I gotta check real quick.
It's Noles Vikes, whatever.
Hold on. Let me
Noles
check
Vikes V's. I just copy and pasted. I did have
for
it
a while.
as...
For a while, you still had it as Noles Vikes Mavs. Yeah, it's still Noles Vikes Mavs. Cap.
Hey, we'll talk about this after this. Someone's getting a lot of
6
followers.
months ago.
Someone's getting a lot of followers over there. Oh man, oopsies. My bad. Well, I did have it as earlier. You're lucky. I had it as I love the Steelers 103.
Yeah,
so.
here we go. Here we go.
I switched it to the one that I thought you had, the new one. But yeah, we're gonna have full coverage on that, so I'll be available to help cover that. Get it out there to you guys. Up next, UNLV.
If you can pronounce this name right.
Transfer. Oh my God. All right.
This is my
check Mabaki.
Check my back.
Check my back, Dion.
My best guess is Chaik Mbake John.
Oh,
John
man.
or Dion?
But I think it's John, but I'm not entirely
Ding
sure.
Dong. It looks like Ding
No,
Dong with
we're not
like
doing
mixed
that.
together. No, it looks like Ding Dong mixed
I
together.
get that, but we're not doing that.
Diong. It looks like Ding Dong. That like if you were to mix both words together. So Ding Dong's down to FSU, UCF, and Utah.
Which you look at those three schools and you're like, well, Florida State's definitely the better of the three programs. He made first team all defense for the conference last year, all Mountain West. Averaged 9.7 rebounds. He'd be a grad transfer, would only have 1 year of eligibility. He's athletic, can play on the perimeter defensively as a big. I think he's 6'10", 6'11". It'd be all right, but when you're swinging for the fences, it's not exactly where I'd want to land, but he'd be solid.
It's interesting here. You got a little tidbit here in our notes that he also, Ding Dong was the first team all Mountain West defense. Leonard might like this guy in Ding Dong. He likes that good defense.
And especially someone that can play on the perimeter as a big. I think that's important. I'm trying not to kill you right now, but
this is gonna be his nickname if he. Oh my God, could you imagine if he comes FSU? Could you imagine this podcast every time we bring him up? Because what a phenomenal nickname.
We'd have to figure out how to pronounce it because Dustin will never learn how to.
Oh, I know. What would you say it is, Dustin, as a nickname? Diong. What would you? Let's see.
Young.
Dion.
Diong.
Why is the G so hard?
I don't know. It's Ding Dong. I don't know. It's a Ding Dong. All right, we're getting into an interesting.
I don't think he's transferring here. He's gonna see this.
Once he listens to this, he's like, hell no.
We'll see.
But yeah.
And then speaking of UCF, we get a rematch against them in the Orange Bowl
Nice.
Classic this year. Needed it.
Yeah, I was about to say, please. So we
Needed that
Florida
one.
State can beat them by 50. And
That's what I have to say because I don't want to talk about UCF again.
Yeah, it seems like that's been like something you've been dealing with. You've been going to therapy for that, right?
Yeah, we've had some conversations.
Yeah, it was really good times back in December whenever Austin put in the basketball
was
chief
before
chat
that.
that
It was before
FSU
that.
was going to win by
To
60
be fair,
points.
that's what someone from UCF told me. It wasn't even someone from FSU. Someone from UCF told me that.
Damn. D-Lou bringing
Still,
back
I mean,
your
it's-
mistakes.
Old takes exposed.
It's not even my take. I'm defending it.
It was
You
shared up.
stole it.
Damn. Now you're
They
saying he
told
stole
it to
it.
me. They told it to me. I wouldn't consider it stolen. That's why I put it in quotations. I'm defending
Jesus.
it.
Anything else from basketball? Anything else going on? The NBA Noles? It's all Trent Forrest.
Trent Forrest has been
Balled
getting
out.
minutes, playing well. Devin Vassell's had a couple starts recently.
Nice.
Dude, last night Dwayne Bacon was automatic.
Dwayne
from
Macon.
mid-range.
And Fiano Cabangeli signed with the Cavaliers for the rest of the season. Shout out Fee.
Yeah, getting some moolah. Good for him. You think he'll fit well over there?
I mean, they need talent.
Doesn't every team?
Well, especially Cleveland.
Yeah. I'm all I do is watch Steph Curry highlights, so I wouldn't know who's on which team except for NBA Knowles. That's it. Wouldn't know, sadly. I don't keep up with it like you two do.
Which, speaking of which, I'll be watching Terrence Mann this time next week in Charlotte.
That's right. Yeah, we have to move our whole podcast with our guest around because of you, Austin.
Yeah.
Isn't
I
that
gotta
crazy?
I got to.
You have to buy your tickets, or did Terrence get them for you?
We're still working on that.
Damn. Yeah,
Better
Terrence.
get you courtside.
Well, there's COVID, so you can't.
That's right, Delu.
You can still sit next to the court. I see it on TV.
That's like mostly
Is that
executives
animated?
that sit next to the court. It depends on the arena.
That's CGI, Delu.
It depends on the arena.
That's CGI. Shout out to Game of Thrones. We got some first little tidbits of their next show they're putting out.
Don't spoil it. I haven't watched a single episode.
Well, it's wait, like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I'm never talking to Austin again. This will be his last time on the podcast. And Dustin just rips it because he's sad that the last season was
Terrible.
dookie. Which, I mean, I was disappointed, but I wasn't going to say it was an awful show because it was a fantastic show on top 3.
I mean, the first 6 seasons were pretty good, but then the last season was
Yeah,
just
disappointing. Well, I think that's going to do it for this evening. I hope everybody enjoyed their week. We'll be back on here probably a little bit earlier in the week next week because of Austin. He's VIP, and he's just getting hooked up with NBA tickets and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be moving it over for him.
You're lucky I didn't miss this week too, because Pat Williams is playing in town right now too.
Well, damn, I'm surprised you didn't go. That's our alumni here this
Yeah,
year.
I
So
wanted
is
to,
man.
but I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't realize until last minute. I literally looked at the schedule like 2 days ago. I was like, oh well, whoops.
Damn. All right, so you have favorites, huh? I'm gonna tell Patrick.
I mean, Pat's still my guy.
I know, but anyways, it's kind of messed up by VZ. Messed up.
I mean, when he told me he was going to be in town in 2 weeks, I didn't consider the fact that he also might be playing in Charlotte in 2 days. I got things mixed up.
Oh, we gotta get you do better because I do need a signed jersey from him. So, all right, that's gonna do it. I hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks for listening. You can always listen on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify. Hit that subscribe button or hit that like button, but really hit that subscribe button so then it pops up on your phone whenever the episode is released. It's the best way of listening to us. We go live every Thursday night at 8:30. We'll see you guys earlier, though, next week. Enjoy the weekend. I need water. I look awful. I need makeup. I look dreadful. Like I said, I just can't look like I just came out of a sewer. Like look at this. Like look. What is this?
Just end the podcast.
What is that?
End
What
the
is that on
podcast.
my forehead? I look awful.
End the freaking podcast.